Hi everyone! Welcome to my first Throwback Thursday, and I know it's a little late. I ended up having some things I need to take care of today, and it ended up taking longer than I anticipated. So I'm going to get out by showing you our first Throwback Thursday. Back in 1989, from 2014, there was a ride at the Disney MGM Studios in Walt Disney World, or now known as Disney's Hollywood Studios, a ride called the Backlot Tour. I worked at it from 2006 to 2009, and it was a live special tour, and I did a 20-minute portion on a shuttle. I drove the shuttle and gave a 20-minute long speech. Now what I'm going to do, using another video of someone else's here on YouTube, I'm going to show you what my tour that I would have gave would be like, because there's really no video of me here on YouTube of my tours, or I never really took any video footage or recorded myself doing an actual tour. But anyway, here we go with the tour. The Disney MGM Studios, now known as Disney's Hollywood Studios, was originally meant to be the Florida counterpart to the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, California. And we're going to begin with the original icon and landmark of the park, and that's our award-winning Eiffel Tower. The design was based off the water tank Walt Disney had built at his Burbank studios back in 1939. Ours stands a lucky 13 stories tall, and it's capped off with a set of Mickey Mouse ears. Each ear weighs about 2.5 tons, or 5,000 pounds. Yeah, that seems like a lot. Also on your left is our recording, or our staging and rehearsal area for our Extreme Stunt Show Lights, Motors, Action. This is where stunt drivers use Pontiac GTOs for practicing their driving needs. A little later on, we'll be taking a closer look at that show. Now on your right is a facade, or a false front. We'll be seeing many of those throughout our tour. But that is basically there to remind us that the Disney MGM Studios, or Disney Hollywood Studios, was meant to be originally a full working production center as well as a park, as the name implies, complete with sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art editing facilities, recording studios, and everything else that you need to produce films, television, or even live radio shows. In years past, the park had many high-profile films, including Marvin's Room, Passenger 57, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and Ernest Saves Christmas. Some television productions include Live with Rita and Kelly, The Golden Girls, Empty Nest, Home Improvement, Boy Meets World, Let's Make a Deal, MTV's Remote Control, and the longest-running syndicated game show, Wheel of Fortune. On your right, as you can see, are two of the surviving P-40 airplane Warthawks from Touchstone Pictures' Pearl Harbor. These were taken from a mold of a real Curtiss P-40 Warthawk. These were produced in fiberglass over a steel frame. Now, 16 of these were built within the soundstage for the film's dramatic attack sequence. The rest P-40s lining the runways, they were known as CGIs, or computer-generated images. Now, also at this point in the tour, you would be able to get a close look, the closest look as a guest, at the Eiffel Tower here at the Walt Disney World Resort. Now, it's one of two icons here in our park. The other icon was also the big giant Mickey's hat inspired off of Fantasia that can be seen in front of another ride, the Great Movie Ride. Now, we're just going to pause for a little bit because I'm actually doing this without looking at our old speech that we gave. I actually remember this whole thing. And this is 2015? Yeah. Now we're going into our most glamorous area, our award-winning creative costuming department. In here you'll find the whole process begins with the designer sketch, some examples of which can be seen along the back walls on either side. Then from there, our team of tailors and seamstresses, they go to work to turn those drawings into the finished garments for our performers. For instance, on your left, some display cases from recent films. This area is also used mostly for our entertainment needs here throughout Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise Lines, as well as throughout various Disney Vacation Club resorts, making this area and this area alone the largest working wardrobe in the world. There's a team here of about 250 skilled professionals. Each year, over 1.5 million yards of fabric is used to create over 25,000 costumes, including costumes that you see on cast members throughout Walt Disney World as well. Now on your left as well as on your right will be some prop and equipment storage areas, as well as our graphic studio and scenic shop. This is where scenic artists and craftspeople build and maintain props and sets for our sound stages, but nowadays for various shows and attractions here throughout Walt Disney World. Some of their projects they worked on in the past was for the renovation back in 2007 for Haunted Mansion, and the 2008 renovation for Spaceship Earth, the big giant ball in Epcot. Now heading deeper into our backlot, where studios build elaborate outdoor sets. Oftentimes when production crews travel out on location, they have to worry about many things that they have no control over, things like crowds, traffic, noise, or even the weather. That's why they end up on a backlot here. On your left, we can see some bone cages from Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest. These were the same bone cages that held the actor Orlando Bloom in the film. Now that's off an area called a boneyard. All major production studios have boneyard, and no, it's not even scary. It's just an outdoor storage attic where oversized props such as cars, trucks, planes, or even spaceships are kept until they're needed again for a sequel or a production of some sort. For instance, on your left, a yellow steamroller from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Then the black Venetian gondola from the romantic comedy Casanova. And then two airplanes. The first is the Aalto from the movie Flight Plan. The other is the Jailbird from Con Air. And the two motorcycles that will be seen here on the end are from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Shortly after, in the film wrap production, they were actually used for another attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, and now they're retired there on the backlot. Now, here on the left, you'll be seeing our Extreme Stunt Show Lights, Motors, Action. We'll be coming right back this way in just a little bit. Right now, on your right, we're going to take you into our... Oh, actually, before we do that, you can see Herbie the Love makes a split cameo appearance. This is split personality Herbie. But anyway, we're coming back this way, as I said. On our right is our oldest standing set here on the backlot. And it's been here since the park opened in 1989. It's been used in films like... or basically in television shows like Oprah Winfrey and Thunder in Paradise. Right now we have a production crew inside. They're going to be showing us a lot of special effects stunts, but we are going to be crossing over a little bridge. So please remember to remain seated, keeping your hands, feet, all that, and also hold on to any personal belongings because the bridge does get very bumpy. Now the set will be coming up here on your left, and it was actually based off of an actual canyon in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. It took our building team and our construction workers 6 months to build. Now that is a really long time for one set, but take a good look around and think about how long it would have taken Mother Nature to put a real thing together, and you'll find that 6 months really is not so bad, especially for a major entertainment company such as ourselves. Now in the middle, as you can see, is a big tanker truck. There's really no way to get it in here. We had to get a crane in and hoist it up and lower it down in place into the scene here on the set. Now, just above us are platforms where our production crews mount their cameras so they can shoot down into the set. Also overhead, outside of the camera's range, is high-power rain spouts to create a rain effect. We'll actually show you that rain effect in just a minute. And there it is. Now you can see at the end of a camera's lens, of a camera's eye, you'll notice that the camera doesn't notice anything is different. It can see in 2 dimensions, therefore making it rain all over the set. And also is also something else they're going to show us, some more effects. I'm not sure what they're going to show us, but we're going to let the rain go for a little bit. And I really am... scene 1, take 2, guys. Shuttle with guests down here. Production crew, shuttle with guests down here. What's going on? This is not a stunt shuttle, test shuttle. Okay, well, we're going to have to remain extras here, so please do remain seated. No thank you, production crew. I'm not going to reset for another take. But that just goes to show you why we call this, and is known as the highlight of our tour, Catastrophe Canyon. You just survived. Give yourself a big round of applause. Now we're going to take you behind the scenes to show you how that was all done, and everyone's sitting down, so we're good to go. We're clear. Moving on. Now take a good look at the canyon, because once we go around the back, you'll see that it will look a whole lot different. You will see that the canyon itself is what is known as something that I pointed out to you earlier called a facade or a false front. You will see that the canyon is nothing more than just a large steel structured frame covered in wire mesh. The wire mesh is then covered with a layer of colored concrete and then is hand carved to look like natural rock formations. The small yellow pipes are used to carry the gas and propane for the fires and explosions, while the bigger gray pipes that you see all over carry the water for the flash flood. That all started when we opened the gates to 3 holding tanks located at the very top of the canyon, sending down roughly 70,000 gallons of water towards our shuttle. Some more drama was added using air cannons with that flash flood. These air cannons are so powerful, studies showed if you took one to New York City and placed a basketball inside it, you'd be able to launch that basketball up and over the Empire State Building. None of us have ever tried it, but if you go to New York, please try and call 407-WD Disney to tell us what really happens. The earthquake effect was created with hydraulic motored shaker tables. Now these registered at 5.1 on the Richter scale and so powerful that if you were to place a car on top of a shaker table, you'll be able to send that car over the railing and into the ravine, setting off possibly another fire. So basically what seemed like an out of control disaster was simply just a safe computerized sequence of events. The whole thing can be reset in just about 3.5 minutes. Now on your right is an airplane that gives a very special meeting at the Walt Disney Company. This was known to airports across the U.S. as the November 234 Mickey Mouse. This was Walt Disney's private aircraft. One of the first assignments it was used for was in 1964 for the final planning stages of the New York World's Fair, where we were introduced to audio animatronics for It's a Small World, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, now known as the Hall of Presidents, and the rotating Carousel of Progress. It was in that same very airplane without any logos where Walt Disney went on a secret scouting mission looking for a perfect spot to build Walt Disney World. And here we are and still keeps on growing. Now Walt Disney got us nearly 28,000 acres of land, and today, currently, we're only using 1/3 of it. Doubling everything that we have right now, including downtown Disney, there's enough room left over for a wildlife reserve. 8 acres of that is on your right for our extreme stunt show, Lights, Motors, Action. The show takes you behind the scenes to show you how we create a vehicle action stunt sequence. It makes you feel right there on the set, as our film crew shows you carefully timed pyrotechnics and allows split-second maneuvers. Then it's edited with audio and visual effects. If you're into knowing how we create vehicle action stunts for films, this is the show for you. But one thing that you won't see here in the show is something that you see right here on our backlot, is behind the scenes. Right here is what is called Acceleration Alley. This is where cars get their speed from 0 to 70 miles an hour in less than a minute. So it's a really interesting show. It comes from our studio park in Paris, France at the Disneyland Paris Resort. Some of the world's top stunt drivers teamed up with us here at Disney to create this stunt show. So it's basically something that you don't want to miss. It's one of our greatest live action shows we've ever put together that features something from a guest's perspective. Now on our left, we are going into another boneyard. First, we have a crypt from the Haunted Mansion. And then the cattle car next to it is from Mighty Joe Young. Then farther down is a truck from 101 Dalmatians. The Silver Lake Space Pod is from Flight of the Navigator. And then from the original Star Wars trilogy, a sand skiff and a snow speeder. And then the yellow submersible and the yellow helicopter were from the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. And then Demolition Derby Herbie from Herbie Fully Loaded, and 2 more crypts on the end from the Haunted Mansion. Now, back on your right is the back part of Lights, Motors, Action, and these are more facades. Facades are only built for what the camera needs to see, because cameras can only see in 2 dimensions. So, if you don't need to have the camera see what's in the back, why build it at all? It's a little trick known as saving money. But it does go to show you as a big advantage that using facades, you can go anywhere in the world. For instance, we took you to a Southern California canyon, then we took you to a fishing village in France. Now we're going to take you to New York City, also to San Francisco, but mostly in New York, because back when the park opened, In 1989, Bette Midler used this set for a short film called The Lottery. It uses a special trick that you'll be seeing called forced perspective. Now you can see that the back of New York is actually a painted flat. And I know that it looks big, but when you see it on camera, it will look small. And the actual buildings that you see in front are actually look big, but on camera they will look small. And San Francisco is in there, as well as a little bit of Chicago to form the Streets of America. And that was the end of the tour. And at the end was a exhibit from the American Film Institute showcase called Villains, Movie Characters You Love to Hate. And it was a must-see exhibit, as in you must see it, because it was the only way to get back into the park and see the rest of the park. So that's it for our Throwback Thursday. John Toomey saying, you are you, I am me, together we can make a difference. Bye, everyone.